So let's step into the greenhouse and see how well it's growing, or if it's growing at all. We came through fall, did excellent. Winter, excellent. We're going through spring, but is anything growing? We got to go through summer. So that's where the real test is going to come in, summertime. Stay up with me and see how well it does in the summertime. But as for now, let's go into the greenhouse and see what's going on and see if anything's growing, see if there's any problems, and let's just take a look. So let's go for a walk. So this is a humongous, humongous potato plant. It's going to be blooming out soon, which is earlier than the ones in my garden. I've got cabbages, broccoli, and cauliflower growing, Ross moss, cucumber, marigolds, broccoli. Look at that thing, it's so beautiful. Basil up under there. This 2 tomato plants right here came from the Arctic storm. They made it through the Arctic storm. I did a video on the frost protection, prevention, and freeze. And so once these tomatoes come off, I'm gonna plan on trying to take these out. I don't see any more blooms at this point in time, but even if it does bloom, I'm gonna go ahead and take them out. Let's go ahead and put some more tomatoes there. I have picked some of these off, hoping to get these tomatoes a little bit bigger because they just loaded down. This is another one that went through the storm. There's a little potato, basil. And this plant right here is on its last leg. Once again, went through the Arctic storm. But it's loaded down with tomatoes, and I want to take it out so bad because I can see it dying back. And, it's not looking good. If the plant continues to die back and potatoes don't, then I'll take them off, see if I can ripen them up. These are tomatoes. Those 3 tomato plants are from my worm castings, and they came up voluntarily. I did get a few seed from those. Plan on trying to, maybe raise some up from that. But I have picked from this. I had several on this bush right here that ripened up, but I cut into them. They didn't have any seeds into it. Amazing. These 2 tomato plants right here are new. Cabbages. The pineapple looks beautiful. This is another potato plant that's fell over. I believe these are contender string beans. I know they're string beans. I believe it was contender. Over here at the very end, which I'm going to do something differently with this area down here in the future. But for now, I've got Ross moss and marigolds planted down here, and 2 tomato plants I'm going to tie up. And I'm planning on going to the ceiling, tying to the ceiling up there. Let's see how that does. Because in actuality, I was amazed that these made it through that Arctic storm, but I did have some prevention. So check out my video on how I did that. And I prefer to have my tomatoes in the middle next time. But we'll see how it goes. These are up on that cattle panel is Kentucky Wonders, string beans, onions. These bulbs were here, was into the garden. They wasn't doing well. I took them, put them in here. So I did purchase these right here. I never really have that much luck with bulbs. They don't really get that big. This is cilantro. I have chives marked onto it, but cilantro, I have noticed there is no pollinators. I have not been seeing but 2 bumblebees. Haven't seen any honeybees, and around here are lots and lots of blooms, and so I'm just totally not happy about that. I do plan on getting some beehives, or I got one beehive, I just haven't got it up and running. I have harvest from the spearmint there to make spearmint tea. Freeze dried it. That's why that's it's really cropped off. Getting some more lettuce growing here. Tomato plant back there. You know, the squash plants are doing really well. It's just, in most time I begin with, I don't have, there end up being male flowers on there. But right now I just haven't seen any pollinators, and I'm just like really upset. So I'm going to probably have to learn, which I've never done before in my life, self-pollinate these. And I meant to, you know, learn about that yesterday, but I haven't yet. Cilantro and onions. Now these onions on this side here, I grew from seed. These right here are from bulbs from that garden, in which I've ate a lot of the tops off, and they're delicious. And and potatoes and eggs, and it was just really super great. So it's not a waste. These onions, once again, cropped off, using it to cook with. I think they're pretty much just about on the end of this cycle. It's not a total waste, so I'll still get some usage. I got the foliage off, you know, so I'll get some usage. But there is victory here, because I grew them from seed. I've got them this big. Now I think I figured out what I need to do. Trying to learn, watching other people, and you know, people say one thing and this, that, and so I think I figured out what I need to do to start having bigger onions. So it's not a waste. It was an experiment. It's something I'm learning. This is a zucchini. Now this plant right here has gone through the frost freeze. I just need some pollinators. I've only got one zucchini. It keeps growing, but you know, I'm having an issue here. So I'm definitely gonna force me to try to learn about self-pollination, and I should be getting a lot of harvest off of this right now. Here is my kale. These one plant at a big box store was $5. I was just shocked, just totally shocked. I grew these from seed. My lettuce is going out as I've been harvesting off of that. I got peppers in here. There's a bell pepper down there. This is jalapeno. It's a mild one. That's a chili pepper, problemo. I got some purple potatoes down there that I'm starting to raise up those so I can start growing my own variety. And I get some seed potatoes, one coming up right there. And I'm missing the pollinator, so I'm growing more seeds here. Put down some more cilantro and fool's you pepper, which I put in over there last night, and they've already taken off. And so, and I got eggplant and chives. Chives I haven't really seen come up yet. So anyways, I've never grown chives, and I think I've kind of figured out what to do about that. I just planted some pickled cucumbers last night, and some hybrid tomatoes, Jamestown, and some collards. These need to be watered. The heat's already picking up here. I'm trying again with my onions. I'm doing it a different way. And oh, I see some little baby onions. Oh, I see them. So yeah, so I'm doing it a different way. See if I can get a better growing on that. Dill, I forgot and left it up there in another area and forgot to water it. So it's looking kind of pitiful. But, and then over here is oregano and some blueberries. I got to open that door up. It's starting to pick up warm. Cabbage. And so everything is looking just beautiful. Total amazed about those tomatoes coming through, and they just loaded down. Looks like they're picking up, growing. So I did pull some tomatoes off of there. I just want to give a greenhouse tour. If you're thinking about a greenhouse, you know, this is my future right here. This is how I look at it. This is my future, because my mama got to a certain age, she quit gardening. My Grandma was the same way. And so I'm hoping to break that chain there and hopefully be able to continue growing until the Lord calls me home. My beans are blooming, so I'm definitely going to be getting me some beehives going. I have been studying up on that. I just have not jumped out there and got a box. It's not about getting a box and just throwing it out there. It's a lot more to it. And so I'm studying up on that right now. And it's in about an acre over, sitting by itself. So I'm kind of watching the sun at this time, see if that's a good area for it, area to start bees. I was going to have it closer, but bees can travel 2 miles to get to their food. And here, and what I got going on around here, flowers and gardening, and in this greenhouse, there's a lot for them to eat. And so I need some pollinators. But this is my future, and I just love it. If you want to find me, all you got to do is come to the greenhouse. If I'm not in the greenhouse, I'm into the garden. The fans are kicking on now. The heat's picking up, and I'm fixing to go down there and hit that one down there. Make sure it's set, both of them set at the same temperature, so that when the temperature reaches here, they all start coming on and pulling this heat out. Here is my seed starting table, and you know what? This was made out of scraps, just leftover wood around here. I put it together, and this is the best thing into a greenhouse. If I'm not on the picnic table with my seeds, most time, and for nighttime, I can go right in there. This is some flowers. I believe it's Sweet William. Yeah, Sweet William. That I'm going to be putting in some containers. Just haven't got to it yet. So if I'm not, but that table in there is just the bomb. Here's where I have my sweet potato slips. Got a few left in there, getting them to grow. Some plants left over from the okra, Clemson spineless, and Star of David. Here's some bunching onions that I'm growing, and this is a wild plum and Ross moss, and this is my rosemary, which I need to harvest. I need to harvest some of that, and a new fig tree. I decided I'll always put my fruit trees into a container and for a year, because they do good, all right, summer, but then that sap goes down, and I just find out it's just better for me to do it that way. This is my lemon tree, and I'm gonna, probably upgrade that to a bigger pot later on. Got my worm tea going on here. This is my orange tree. I got my first little oranges on there. I'm really excited about that. They got oranges on them. This thing was loaded down with blooms. There was so many on there, I was tempted to pull them off. Wind came, blew a lot of them off. A lot of them fell off, and now I'm looking at it, it's like the perfect measure. Here's one of my plum trees. Like I said, I keep it in a container. And this is a blue damson. And this is my strawberry, my vertical planter, my strawberry. This one don't look that good, but it's a strawberry. I come out here every morning, eat off of it. It's good. So that's what my vertical planter. And I got a vertical planter down there. This is goji berries, but I must have planted a blueberry down in there. And I'm pretty sure it's because it must have been trying to die out, and I put it in this container. And I need to go ahead and get it, see if I can get it out and put it in a different container. I just not long noticed it. So, yeah. And I grow my strawberries from seed. This is another plant bed that I haven't finished yet. So guys, I just want to show you a tour of the greenhouse and what's going on. Gardens jumping. All these plants, potatoes I raise from year to year. Grab my own potatoes, save potatoes, and have my own seeds. But this garden right here, and got corn and sweet potatoes on the other side. Everything in this garden was raised from a seed. I got one plant, and it is a grill squash that I bought from Lowe's. I have to look at the plants, and that's because I didn't have any seed for that. I'm hoping to get seeds from it. I got variety squash in here, but I took the other ones and planted them at a different location. But I was amazed at how much it was very leggy, and it had hardly any roots, and so we'll see if I can get them going. But here's my first time at having corn. My sweet potatoes are back over there, and they are just doing so beautiful. Black-eyed peas, butter beans, watermelon, cantaloupe. I don't know how well I'll do with the watermelon and corn, but you know, cabbages. I got peppers, and my sweet potato slips. I did a video on how to grow sweet potato slips, and so they're doing excellent. My garden peas, they're blooming like crazy. On the other side, there's just like blooms everywhere. That sun's hit them, so by this afternoon, I think on this side, it'll just be loaded down too. This one plant is a month older, and I have been picking off of this constantly, using those for beans, because it's the only one plant, which I still probably got a good harvest. But this plant right here, I just pick off, and I take these and stir fry them with some of those onion tops into the greenhouse. And see what else. I have some potatoes and some of these and some onion tops and stir fried, and it's just so delicious. So the greenhouse is really doing great, and here's our future. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on to the next video. So this greenhouse is really working out. It enabled me to be able to grow all that's into my garden.